Hey guys, Christina here with Thyme and Timber, and you are catching me at my Florida campsite. And today we are going to be making some Creole style shrimp and mussels. So let's fire up the barbecue and get to cooking. With any good Creole dish, you want to start with the Holy Trinity. And I am not talking about, okay, seriously. It's 3 simple ingredients. Start with a bell pepper, onion, celery. That's it, guys. The Holy Trinity. Super simple. Okay, shrimp talk. So these things used to really freak me out because of they're whole. Like, it's kind of creepy, but they are so darn delicious. So I highly recommend whole shrimp if you can find them. I'm going to remove their little tentacles, do a nice butterfly, remove the vein and whatnot, and give them a good rinse. If this freaks you out like way too much, go ahead and buy head off, already cleaned, veined, whatever floats your boat, but I highly recommend the shell on because there's so much flavor. So let's go ahead and prep these. I have about a pound, and then we're gonna move on to the mussels. Okay, so this is super simple. You can be barbaric like me and just rip those out just like that. It's terrible. And you know, they make a lot of deveining tools and stuff, which I forgot at home, so I am just using a little knife just to run down the back, and I'm gonna devein that. And to show you again really quick, after this, go ahead and give them a nice rinse. Mussels. Just like your weird lumberjack uncle, they might have some weird stringy beards. So all you want to do to prep these is give them a good rinse and take that off, because you don't want this. Definitely not. It's super easy, and again, I'm working with a pound. The ingredients are super simple. I just did a little layover of it, but definitely you're gonna want garlic. If you are lazy like me, you can totally go for like a jar of minced. Plus, when you're camping, come on, no brainer, let's cut the corners. For this, I'm also going to be using some fresh okra. Go ahead and use frozen chopped if that's what you have. And I'm going to be using about a cup. This is also going to be tomato based. So I am using a can of fire roasted. It doesn't have to be fire roasted, but definitely a can of diced, and some tomato paste. And I will be using about a half a glass of white wine and 2 cups of broth. Some Creole seasoning, about 2 to 3 tablespoons, fresh thyme, and bay leaves. And don't forget the butter. I am using a charcoal travel grill. It's a Kamado, and I'm going to be using a cast iron skillet with a lid. I'm not going to go into the cast iron obsession that I have. I told you I had a cast iron obsession. I'm heating this up to about a medium-high heat, which is going to be about 375, and you can definitely do this on a travel gas grill too, or an open fire. Have at it. Okay, enough of my silly shenanigans. I think it's time to actually cook. My cast iron has been sitting on for about 10 minutes to get nice and hot, because you always want to heat the pan before you add oil, and I think it's time for a drizzle. It's more like a heavy-handed drizzle. Add your diced onion. Stir it up. Cook it maybe about 10 minutes until it's caramelized. Add your diced bell pepper. I did about 2 stalks of celery chopped. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and cook that until they're softened. 2 heaping scoops of garlic. I mean, if that's too much for you, that's fine. And I kind of eyeballed about 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. I stirred it up, cooking for about 10 minutes or so, just until everything kind of caramelizes. Then I add 3 tablespoons of Creole seasoning. Stir that up till it's mixed very well. Then we add our vino. I'm always using a dry white wine, specifically Chardonnay. And we're gonna go ahead and let that cook down a little bit. Add your tomatoes. I totally forgot to show you that. Oops. And then I add a half a stick of butter. Next, I add 2 cups of vegetable broth, a heavy douse of hot sauce, my herbs, my okra, and then we go ahead, once that comes back to a boil, and add our shrimp. I give them a little push around just to make some room for the mussels. And just kind of toss them on top because then we're going to fold them in. And then I'm gonna go ahead and cover them. They're gonna cook in about 6 to 10 minutes once the shrimp are opaque and the mussels are open. Meanwhile, do yourself a favor, get yourself some really good sourdough, slice this baby up, give it a nice toast because you're gonna wanna dip this in this awesome Creole broth. You'll thank me. All right, back to it. It is done and it is so delicious. It smells amazing. If you're looking for a dish with tons of flavor that is based all around seafood, this is the one. And just a reminder, do not forget that crusty toasted bread. White rice is also a great side too. Shh, little secret for you. You can make any dish look pretty with just using some parsley. I don't know, that's just my little trick. Just saying. All right, guys, that is a wrap. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today at my campsite in Florida. Hopefully, you might try out this awesome Creole-inspired shrimp and mussel dish. If you have any questions, go ahead and drop them in the comments. And, do the whole like, follow, subscribe thing. I don't know. This is my first video, so help a girl out. See you next time.